Here we are at Collintrave and about to board the ferry to head over to the Isle of Bute.
While we're on the island, we visit Mount Stuart, a neo-Gothic masterpiece rising from the heart of Bute. This palace of marble, myth and marvels, where history meets enchantment. On our first night, we stay at the Kingarth Hotel and Smiddy Bar in the car park with lovely neighbours. David takes a walk and finds not just one, but two lots of standing stones. We explore the lovely nearby Kilchatton Bay, and Roxy can't resist taking a dip. We stop at the viewpoint and check out the lovely views across the island. And of course, no visit to Bute would be complete without stopping off at the pencil box. Roxy fancied another beach, so we stopped off at Ettrick Bay South. We stopped at Port Bannatyne on the way to our campsite for our second night on Bute, where we stayed at Roseland Holiday Park in Rothesay, where we take the opportunity to do a bit of exploring. Rachel visits the museum, and I visit Rothesay Castle, where we learn about the history of the island, and then take a wander along the seafront and the promenade, and discover Bute.
Come with us.
LeisureBit is the way to go with David, Rachel and Roxy. Let's hit the road and explore.
When that light turns from red to green, we can proceed forward, ready to board. Believe it or not, just over there is the ferry on the Isle of Bute, and it's going to come across here to collect us and then take us across there to the Isle of Bute. It only takes a few minutes.
The lights turned green and we're off. We're boarding. We're here already. We've landed on the Isle of Bute.
What did you think of that ferry journey, David?
Do you know what? That was the shortest ferry journey I've ever been on. It was less than 5 minutes, wasn't it? And that's pushing it.
There was some absolutely gorgeous views as we drove along the coastal road. We were heading towards Mount Stuart, which was our first stop for the day. Coming up here, there's a left-hand turn into Mount Stuart. It's quite a long drive down to where the car park is.
Here we are at Mount Stuart on the Isle of Bute. Let's go and check it out. Dogs are allowed in the gardens, but not in the house. There was plenty of room in the car park for the van as well. That's handy if you're coming in your motorhome or campervan. The roundhouse, which is currently closed, so you get your tickets at the main house if you haven't pre-bought them.
£18.25 for an adult to get into the house and the gardens, and if you just want to do the gardens for one adult, it's £10. Look at that breathtaking house.
This is one of the first houses in the world with working electric lights, a telephone system and a heated indoor swimming pool. How about that? Let's go and check it out. Now we're entering the marble chapel. This is absolutely amazing.
The chapel, being dedicated to St Andrew, it was completed in 1903. Sadly, the Marquis died in the year 1900 and he never lived to see its completion.
We look up to the roof there. You can see the red stained glass. And as the sun's shining today, it's shining through and over there. Isn't that amazing?
The actual house we're in now is the second house. So the first house burnt down in a fire and they've rebuilt it on exactly the same footings of where the other one was. So this is actually the second house that's been here. They did a brilliant job at it.
It's really nice in here because you can get really up close and personal, obviously without touching with the things. You do feel like you're part of the house and there's very little fenced off. As you go around, there's facts and information on each of the rooms. You can come here, visit and check it out for yourself and learn all about the history of this magnificent house. There's also QR codes you can scan for an audio guide on your phone. Isn't that good?
The cafe in the courtyard's open 10 till 4.
We'll take a look around the rock garden now. This is really a lovely place. I'm so pleased we stopped off here. Absolutely cracking. You can see there must have been an awful lot of work went into building that house.
There's a walk to a beach and it says a sandy beach. So while David's looking around the house, we're going to take it in turns. Roxy and I are going to go and check out the beach. Even if you don't go in the house and you just want to do the gardens, I think you could probably spend a day here. It's massive and so beautiful. The estate has over 300 acres of woodland, formal gardens, shoreline. Even if you don't do the house, it's worth coming just for this. It's like a little piece of heaven. It feels like our own private beach. Because the sun's got his hat on today, it feels like almost Mediterranean down here. There's gorgeous sandy beach, clear water, and Roxy's having the most amazing time. I just love it. This is gorgeous. So there's 3 archways and all these columns and pillars inside. Look at that. Going to find David now.
That was Mount Stuart House. I hope you enjoyed the wander around there and hopefully it inspires you to come and take a look yourself. Lots more areas to explore, just a quick taster there. There are lifts available in the accessible car park. You don't have to come up this hill or down the hill on the way.
I loved Mount Stuart. Roxy and I had such a time on the beach. It was amazing and the house was superb.
Here we are at the Kingarth Hotel and Smiddy Bar on the Isle of Bute.
And it's beautiful.
Look at that fantastic view over there. This is our home for the night. This is a stopover in a pub car park. You can stay here overnight if you book ahead and eat and drink in the Kingarth Hotel. Facilities at this stopover are waste and recycling, a hose and a tap just down there in case you need water. There's no electric hookup here, so we're off grid this evening. Here's our neighbours. Kingarth Hotel's Bute iconic country inn, traditionally a coaching inn dating back to 1786. Kingarth is the keeper of many lifetimes of stories. The hotel's dog friendly both inside and outside. It's a lovely day, so we thought we would sit outside. Taking a wander now, passing the cemetery on the left hand side. Look at the view over that way. We're going to head down this way. This is Bute Baird Airstrip. Here we are at the Black Park standing stones. There is some parking here, right next to them. We'll take this track along here and go and check out the standing stones. There's just the 3 standing stones there. We're now going to go and check out some more standing stones. Come with me. Looks like there's been a lot of trees felled in this area, but it's really opened the view up across there. Seat there if you want to stop and rest your legs. Turn in here and head down this track. Largazine standing stones down here. Now we're going to head this way in the direction of the airfield, but then hang a left. Got another 1, 2, 3 stones there. Some more standing stones. Head back now, the way we came, back up the field. Do you ever get the feeling you're being watched? I'm going to turn down this way now and cut through here. And this is the West Highland Way. Didn't look too strong, that one. Seem to be coming to the other end of the track now. Highland Way continues along there.
However, we're going to pop out into the village of Kilchatton Bay.
A wander along here. Post office and tea room. What a delightful little village. There's a bus runs through as well. Here's Kilchatton Bay. This is the original stone quay, affectionately known locally as the Old Pier, built by the second Marquis of Bute in 1822. It was a vital link for the then thriving community of Kilchatton until the wooden pier to the east was completed in 1880. This building and weighbridge were kindly gifted to the community of Kingarth and Kilchatton Bay by the late Mr. Hugh Thomas, the last piermaster at the new pier. Isn't that cute? Fantastic bench and table. Great place for cycling as well. What a lovely evening and beautiful view across the bay. It's just under 1.5 miles from the hotel to the middle of the village there. There's some old houses around here. That one's from 1849. The Kingarth Hotel. That was just over 4 miles round trip there. Probably getting on for 4.5 actually, because I didn't start counting till a bit later. But we're now back at the van.
We went into the hotel for our evening meal. There was a really good selection of specials on the blackboard, as well as the main menu.
What's that you've got?
Scampies. What have you got?
Looks very nice. I've got burger. The food's been really nice, really friendly. Lovely area as well. Had a fantastic walk round too. Lots of standing stones and the village just down the road. Absolutely brilliant.
After a lovely night's sleep, it was now time for us to head on our way to start exploring. Another day on Bute. and our first stop is the viewing point.
Good morning, and we're starting the day off at Scalpsea viewing platform, where you can see for miles. Well worth stopping off here if you're passing.
View from here, from Scalpsea viewing platform, is just breathtaking. At that side you've got all the beautiful fields and landscape. Then look at that beach, look at that.
You can walk from the viewpoint 2.5 kilometres to Bicker's house. Information there on the viewpoint. Well worth stopping off here. Imagine the view be absolutely magnificent on an evening with the sun casting across that way.
No trip to Bute would be complete without stopping at
the pencil phone box. There's postcards. Have they got any tablet? Yes, they have. They've got tablet. 50 pence, £1, 2, 3, £4 for a box of tablet. There we go. And a postcard. They've also got fresh eggs. Here we are at Ettrick Bay South, little car park here. Just going to take a wander down now onto the beach.
This is just epic. This is Ettrick Bay and it's a mile-long stretch of sandy beach. What's that sand all over your head? In 1910, local blacksmith Andrew Blaine Bard conducted Scotland's first attempted powered flight at Ettrick Bay, marking a significant event in Scotland's history. The first ever powered flight coming here in Ettrick Bay. Good place, I reckon. This beach is simply stunning. It really is. Rox and I are having the most gorgeous time.
Time now to head on to our next destination.
Where are we, Rachel?
I don't know.
Port Bannatyne.
Ah, Port Bannatyne we're at.
And a cracking day it is too. Some cracking boats in there, isn't there?
Some public toilets as well. It's 50 pence to get into these toilets. You can either put 50 pence in the slot or you can pay by card on the card reader. It's an initiative in Isle of Bute called My Tribe, and it has free sanitary products available in the toilets for females to take. I can fully support that. That's a really, really good initiative, and just to endorse it, there's lots of thank you cards being left. Well done, Argyll and Bute.
Park up here while we wait for check-in time for the campsite. It's just down in the little village that I took a wander to yesterday. There's seats to sit down on, there's picnic benches. What a great idea these play, borrow, returns are. Lots of toys and things you can use while you're at the beach, and then when you're finished you can pop them back. Isn't that a clever idea? Fishing nets, frisbee, little chairs, hats. Now that's a really smart idea. Now it's time for us to head to Rosedale caravan site. Let's get cracking.
Let's get some sun, baby, it's time to go.
We pick up our journey in Rothesay as we head towards Roseland Holiday Park. Our sat-nav tried to send us up the Serpentine, but we took this route, which was much more straightforward and a lot safer. You'll see later why it wasn't a good idea to use the Serpentine. It's still a fairly steep hill up this way, but perfectly achievable.
Let's get
When we arrive at the caravan site, we want the third entrance, as per the arrival instructions, which takes us into the area of the park which we're staying. Here we are, at Roseland Holiday Park, our home for the night.
Let's get louder, come on, lose control. Ain't no
So here's our second night on the Isle of Bute.
And we're here at Roseland Caravan Park.
The pitch comes with an electrical hookup. It's a 16 amp electric hookup. Hard standing, and I needed to use the ramps to level it up. On the site there's also pods, statics and lodges. There's also a cafe as well called the Jam Jar. Let's go and check that out.
We paid £34 for one night at Roseland Holiday Park.
This reception, although it's worth noting that it is only manned a couple of days a week, otherwise it's self-check-in. More water. And the pot wash area. Just one sink, but perfectly adequate. Rookie error there. I've just gone for a shower and I didn't realise you had to pay. It's £1 for 8 minutes, so I've had to come back and get some money. You will be emailed a code to get into the door. Hand basins, and right at the other side there's a shower and baby change facility. Worth noting, it is £1 for 8 minutes of shower. It was red hot, in fact probably too hot, and 8 minutes was ample enough. There's large undercover outdoor pods to sit in, a terrace. Just in front of the terrace is a little putting green. I've walked at the back of all of the lodges and buildings and come out on the other side. I believe there's another facility block here. Yes, this looks to be the other facility area. Ah, here's a laundry. Washing machine £5. Tumble dryer £1. In this block you have an accessible toilet and shower room and some toilets like sinks.
This is the gate we used when we arrived. Descend now down the Serpentine into Rothesay. This area is called Canada Hill, and we're now heading down the Serpentine.
It says no HGVs, and I'm not surprised. It is a very, very steep hill that's twisty and turny. Luckily we came the other way. Oh wow, look at Bute down there. So what I thought was bendy actually wasn't. It's about to get a lot more serious.
And see the road going down there. And see where some people have grounded out there, look. The serpentine shape helped the horses with the carts get up the hill as it gentles the slope off. Tell you what, I'm not looking forward to coming back up there. Oh, and the sat-nav would have quite happily sent us up here. It had chosen that route. I'm sure ours is possessed. It's the sign, the Serpentine, Canada Hill. Head down this way now to the seafront. It's the golfer's bar.
I'm going to see the museum. So here we are in the museum, and the first thing that's greeted me is a penny farthing. Old-fashioned Punch and Judy. The electric iron. Photograph from an expedition to the Arctic in 1910. In 2007, the Inmarnock cyst was re-excavated using the skull and photos from the original excavation. This big bell came from the West Church and it was built in 1846. Behind me is the castle ruins and what's known as the moat.
£8.50 for an adult. Well, that was excellent. As I'm a member of English Heritage, got in free on the reciprocal access.
King of Norway, King Haakon IV, was concerned by the fall of Bute, which he saw as a threat to his authority.
What a lovely castle to take a look around. Good viewing point here. This is where the royals came to worship when here in Rothesay. The plaque on the wall here commemorates John VI, Marquis of Bute. The tower on the left was built in the late 1800s to improve the castle defences and provide better accommodation for the High Steward and his family. It was remodelled in the 1500s. There's a lot of work going on to improve and maintain the castle at the moment, making sure it's there for future generations to enjoy. This is the pit prison, living in damp, dark, rat-infested conditions with little to eat, no fire and poor ventilation. Many a prisoner languished in this grim pit prison. That was well worth checking out. Even better, they got in for free. Definitely worth checking out if you're here. That's Rothesay Castle.
Across the road towards the promenade, there's the Isle of Bute Discovery Centre. There's an absolutely gorgeous park, as well as the Discovery Theatre. There's plenty of places to sit and take a rest and relax.
Welcome to the Highlands. It says I'm standing on the Highland boundary fault. How about that? A lovely promenade to walk along with gorgeous views across there to mainland Scotland.
Rothesay is a seaside resort on the Isle of Bute, and it boasts a rich history, particularly linked to its iconic castle, and the town's history spans centuries, from its role as a strategic location during Viking conflicts to its development as a Victorian resort town.
Welcome to Rothesay on the Isle of Bute on this gorgeous afternoon.
This is the harbour at Rothesay.
There's the 3 o'clock sailing across to Weems Bay. We're on that tomorrow morning. Quick pit stop there at the sulking room. Now we've got to climb back up the Serpentine. See that van making its way up. I could have got the bus.
It is, unfortunately, our last day on Bute this morning. We're getting the ferry, heading back over to the mainland.
Here we are at the harbour in Rothesay, ready to leave the lovely Isle of Bute. And yes, we're in the wrong lane.
Directly at the port of Bute, there are the Victorian toilets. Very bizarrely, I've been told it's a really good point of interest. I've never been told toilets are a point of interest before. In 1994, the toilets were awarded a building of historic interest from Historic Scotland. These tiles are quite trendy now, aren't they? Rothesay Victorian toilets, unique survivor, the opulence of whose tiles, mosaics, porcelain and marble recalls the days when Bute in the water was the holiday experience for thousands of Glaswegians. How cool is that?
And now it's time to board the ferry.
What's that you're having, Rachel?
Just a bacon sandwich.
And I've got a sausage sandwich, and I think Roxy's hoping to have a bit of that too.
Hands are trembling right now. Right now. Deep blue water sea, afraid of jumping in right now. Right now.
And here we are, just arriving into Weems Bay. We'll pick you up next time when we head for Loch Doon.
What have you thought of Roseland Holiday Park on the Isle of Bute?
What a great little site. The views out to the town are absolutely spectacular. Got everything that you'd want on here, especially the little restaurant, which was beautiful. Really enjoyed it. And the Serpent. I've only done it once, won't be doing it again. What have you thought of it?
Yeah, it's a nice site, and the Jam Jar, which is the restaurant Rachel mentioned, really nice food, really tasty, really enjoyed that. And yes, it's a steep climb back up the Serpentine from the town, but it's a lovely town. And actually, it's good exercise, isn't it, coming up there? Imagine if you stayed there for a week and walked up each day, you'd be fit as a fiddle. But beautiful views out from the site and nice and clean facilities as well. Thank you for watching.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
And we will catch you for the next bit where we head back over to the Scotland mainland. Bye.
Bye.